Hello and welcome to the Bat Cave. I'm your host, BlindBat8719. On today's video, I'm going to be going over my Kenrith's Ultimatums deck built around, or built with, Kenrith the Returned King as the commander. He's one of the few 5-cost commanders in Standard. The deck isn't really built around using his abilities, though he is a good win con on his own. Instead, I built the deck to try to win using the 5 Ultimatums that are in the Standard at the moment. The inspiration for this deck came from playing both my Emergent Ultimatum deck, where I just had a lot of fun casting the Ultimatum and thought it'd be really cool if I built a 5-color Brawl deck basically focused on casting the Ultimatums, as well as a Standard deck earlier on that I had seen built by Saffron Olive from MTG Goldfish that was built around casting Ultimatums, which helped explain some of the choices I made in the deck. One of which was Unpredictable Cyclone, and using using Boon of the Wishgiver as a cycling sorcery to help me possibly cycle into one of these Ultimatums. The deck is mostly built around ramp, with some concessions made for 2 of the Ultimatums, Genesis Ultimatum and Emergent Ultimatum. Emergent Ultimatum wants to look for monocolor cards, so I tried to pick some powerful monocolor cards that are in Standard right now, as well as powerful cards that we wouldn't mind cheating into using Genesis Ultimatum. In regards to my 5-color mana base, I focused mostly on playing dual lands that had green in them. I definitely am trying to use the abilities of Plaza of Harmony, creating it into our second version of a command tower using Guildgates that all have green in them. I'm going to do this is my quick deck tech for you guys. I plan on trying something a little different with the quick deck tech straight into the Brawl arena, and then I'll do a more in-depth deck tech later on in the video. So that being said, let's jump into the arena for some Brawl. Hello and welcome to game number 1. We are playing against Trash Robot piloting an Etrata the Silencer deck. I like Etrata. So they're probably going to have a lot of creature removal. Well, actually, no, they're going to try to ramp her out and blink her back and forth. So we have to be careful how many creatures we put into play. I am going to keep this hand. I got 2 mana to an Arcane Signet, which will help me find a Circuitous Route, and I got 2 cards that I can cycle to help me draw cards with a Fires of Invention. We're going to keep this 7. We're going first. Let's say hello to our opponents. Ooh, start off with Leyline of Anticipation. Alright. Stomping Ground. Enters tap. No need to lose a life right now. Temple of Deceit from our opponent. Moving that to the bottom. Alright, Unpredictable Cyclone. 2. It's another thing we can cycle. That's one of the Arcane Signet. That was one of the things built with the deck in mind, is I wanted things that could either function early game for cycling or late game as beaters. He's got 2 blue open. Do I want to risk him having a negate right here? You know something? I'm going to... If I get this out, this would be pretty powerful. I'm going to go for it. There we go. Oh, that's right. I can't actually use Circuitous Route because I don't have... I was playing the Fires out thinking that I would be able to cast Circuitous Route for free, but I forgot that I only have 3 lands in play. Let's see, is our opponent going to cast anything now? Okay. Let's see if we can cast a Circuitous Route. If this resolves, I mean, I can always cast the Dryad. Alrighty, so let's go for a... What do we need in hand? Let's get a Selesnya Guildgate so we have a white source. And then let's go with the Gruul Guildgate so we have another red source just in case. And then... Ooh. I'm going to be kind of greedy and see if we can get the Unpredictable Cyclone down. He might have a counter spell here, but if I can get this down and start cycling my creatures, I could start cheating out some creatures into the deck, into play. Beat the sanity on from our opponent. I just realized now, I had talked in a previous video with Nynars that having both the Fires of Invention, Unpredictable Cyclone in play, how it actually limits us a little bit. Basically means I can't cycle on my opponent's turn because I don't get the draw effect. And I won't be able to cast anything. Well, we lost Boon of the Wishgiver. We have an Ugin, so that's good. Alright, do I go for Kenrith here? Does Kenrith have the ability to give himself hexproof? No. Okay. Do I have anything in my graveyard that I want to bring back? No. This is a good one. Alright, I have 6 mana. I'm 1 away from Godzilla. I think I'm going to cycle the green Godzilla. Which will... Oh, I'm not going to draw a card. I'm actually just going to get a creature out of this. Sure, let's put a Parcel Beast into play. So that's 1. And then... let's play Kenrith out. Okay. I could have been aggressive there, given everything haste and swung. The thing is, I wanted to use the Parcel Beast's ability to ramp out my lands, which won't be able to happen if... I want to keep back the blocker as well. The Fairy Master of Time. Alright, let's see what my opponent chooses to do here. He won't be phasing out my general, I believe. He'll probably be drawing and discarding. Alrighty. Passed on my opponent's turn. Discarded a Wavebreak Hippocamp. I feel like my opponent's basically now playing a blue-black control deck and not focused on using a Trotta as much. She's more of a backup removal spell. Okay. Drawing a card, discarding. What will they discard? Capture Sphere. Yeah, so they're playing much more of a control deck. They're not trying to win with the Trotta. We may not have to worry about our creatures as much. 1, 2, 3. He has 5 mana. We do have to worry about my opponent stealing our ultimatums from me. That's 5. Alright, we just drew Eerie Ultimatum. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That would give us 7. I would have to hard cast. I would have to hard cast it though. And we're only really going to get back. Oh, we're going to get back a lot of lands. 2 of which I could use. Alright, so let's see now. This might actually work. Alright, so let's alternatively cast the Chromatic Lantern. Going to try and hard cast the Eerie Ultimatum and see if that resolves. It does. Perfect. Alright. Okay. Let's see, what about you cast so far? I've cast 2 spells so far. All creatures gain trample and haste. Next, let's move to combat. I'm going to swing Kenrith at my opponent. I'm going to swing Godzilla at my opponent's face. He might -3 to get rid of Kenrith, which is fine. Into the speed, shatter the sky. Okay, since we're going to lose everything, we might as well activate the Parcel Beast's ability. Take the action, put that onto the battlefield. Alright, and there goes everything. Take the action, move into my command zone. We'll play the land for turn, because why not? And then I think I'm out of plays for the turn. Okay. So this gets to be interesting now. I would like to play Ugin so I can find a way to deal with the fairy. It means I will lose my Masters of Invention. But I think that would be an okay price to pay. That also makes them lose their ley line of anticipation. Alright. Ooh. Okay. Thought Erasure. This has flash. I might as well just cast this now. Resolve. I think I held back only because, I mean, they're probably going to take the Ugin, which is fine. But I could always play out Thrixix to protect my Godzilla attack. There goes Ugin, okay. He has one blue open. I am liking more and more the idea of playing out Godzilla, or Yidaro technically, and Kenrith out together. Alright, so let's play out the alternative cost for Godzilla Doom Inevitable. Because he has haste no matter what. Let's play out Kenrith, the Returned King. I do think we have to deal with the fairy, so I will most likely try to take out the fairy this turn, because they're getting really close to taking the 2 extra turns. So next, gonna swing both of these. Oh, he stole my Shadow the Skies. I just realized that. So I'm like, wait, he doesn't have white in his deck. All right, let's go for the 2 attacks. Next. And then I'm also thinking, too, worst case, I could always bring back... I probably could have brought back a 3rd creature now that I think about it. Using Kenrith's ability. Alright, damage. Damage happens. Now let's end the turn. Alright, so our opponent has one of my cards and 3 of theirs. We're playing out Atrada. Okay, that's fine. What can I bring back here? I can draw a card, I can gain life, and put target creature card from opponent's graveyard onto the battlefield. Anything good? Or whenever you cast your first spell. Thief of Sanity would be not bad to use against them. Boon, Parcel Beast, I have Godzilla again I could bring back. Pass to attackers. Pass the blockers. Atrada's unblockable. So I gotta see how they're gonna stack this past the damage. Alright, exile target creature. Who are they exiling? Or targeting? Targeting Kenrith. Alright, so let's return creature card. I think let's go bigger boom. And then as much as I want to make Godzilla maybe bigger as a 9/9, I think I'm probably better off trying to draw a card to get some more advantage over my opponent. Now, Kenrith, when he goes to the command zone, will still have a counter on him. I believe the counter stays with him. Because technically the command zone's in exile. He's exiling my stuff. Well, isn't that just annoying, right? Alright, he's exiling 2 cards from my graveyard. Well, let's draw a card. In the meantime. Field of Ruin. Okay.
Has never stopped me.
Alright, so use Erebos Intervention to get rid of Ugin and my 11 drop. Take my command into the command zone. So let's just see. I know he's no longer in exile. I think the counter... He still has the counter on him, per se. We have Inspired Ultimatum. Okay. Alrighty. I could replay Kenrith, which I think is a good bet. Let's see if we draw out a counterspell by playing out Kenrith. Alright. Let's give him haste. There's Bedevil. Okay. That's fine. Oh! Alright, that was my mistake. I should have gone into full control mode there, because I could have then, with the ability on the stack, before, so I wouldn't have to waste another red mana. I could have done it with the stack. Oh, he already has haste. That was my mistake. Alright, never mind then. Still swinging in and out. Alright, 13. I used up a lot of mana for no reason. Let's deal the damage. Oop, nope. I always screw that part. I keep thinking it's the damage first. 5 life to me, 5 damage to my opponent, draw 5 cards. And then we'll end the turn there. Good game. That was some nice back and forth. I mean, unless he's going to surprise kill me out of nowhere. I thought he was conceding from that. Okay. Anticipate from our opponent. He could be looking for Event Extinction. That would wipe the board, or exile the creatures at least. And since they're both odd, they both would go away by naming odd. Return target creature to its owner's hand. Come to my hand. Okay. Alright, so I think he's just conceding, but still wants to get, I guess, play the blue and black spells to get the tokens to work on the quest for the day. Alrighty, we got a win. Hello and welcome to game number 2. We are playing against Squabed, piloting a Vivian Arcbone Ranger. I believe this is the 4-cost Gideon. Let's see what we got here. Mountain Guildgate, Bedevil, Fires of Invention, Cultivate. We're going to keep it, basically, because we have Cultivate and get a Fires of Invention going. So keep the 7. Do got to worry about some enchantment removal. So hopefully we can use Fires of Invention and cast Bedevil in the same turn. Stomping Ground. Alright, lead off with a Golgari Guildgate. We had a force from our opponent. Oh, I didn't say hi. Hello. Incubation Druid. Alright, I would like to kill that now, but it ain't gonna happen anytime soon. So let's put a Stomping Ground in tap, save some life. Alright, so we have a turn 3 Vivian? I'm sure it's the one I think it is. Okay, so, and now they're putting the counter Incubation Druid to cast for 3 mana.
In unison with the wild.
Yep. All right.
Stomping time.
All right. So we'll play the island. Let's go with the Cultivate. Let's put the... We're trying to go for the Inspired. So I think we're probably better off going for... Well, let's get a black. Go with white and blue. We have the 2 red in hand. Let's put the white into play. We're going to try to see if we can get our mana's red up. Hard cast the Inspired Ultimatum. I mean, this could be a pretty quick one. It seems Guardian Project. Fierce Empath. Oh boy. Alright. What's one I'm worried about now? End-Raise Forerunners? Or if it gets a King Kong, a Conga, that would definitely not be nice. Thorn Mammoth. Alright, that does some good work.
My.
Shark
How
Typhoon.
you've grown.
Alright. Let's play out the island. I'm at 5. Let me play out Fires. This is a 6-powered creature. And then Vivian goes off at 5. Outside the game, reveal and put it into your hand. That doesn't do us any good because there's no sideboard in this format, so that you don't have to worry with the ultimate then. I actually think I'm gonna kill... I'm gonna kill the Incubation Druid just because it's a big mana sink for them, and now they only have 5 mana, so they can't cast Thorn Mammoth at will at the moment. Also turns off the Bonder's Enclave. For the moment, they can put the counters on now to try to draw the card.
This will be fun to
Get
watch.
hit for 5. So I think my 1-2 punch that I would really like to be able to do is cast the Shark Typhoon, followed by Extinction Event. Odd. We have 2 things we can get there. I know this Thorn Mammoth's odd as well. Alright, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think we'll lead off by playing the Mountain. Let's cast Extinction Event for free, naming Odd. Then we can cast Kenrith, Odd. Then we're going to cast Kenrith for free. Use the red. All creatures get haste. Next we're going to swing. I want to give my opponent the opportunity to see if they have any tricks before I pump to kill. Blockers. Damage. 1 counters. 1 counters. Alright. Alright, there goes Vivian.
I've seen too many species die
Alright,
already.
5. So he's 5. So 6. Man, my count is right. I mean, he could be playing a Thorn Mammoth and then I'm in trouble. Tell me he's short. Beast Whisperer, so he's a little short. Okay. Draws a card off the Guardian Project from Beast Whisperer. Okay, so now let's play out Mountain. Hard cast the Shark Typhoon. I like the idea of... Oh, okay. Alright, Shark Typhoon was enough to get the win there. Alright. Hello and welcome to game number 3. We're playing against Lobo, piloting a Liliana Waker of the Dead deck, which is the mono black 6-cost Liliana from War of the Sparks. They're going first. We have 3 lands, 2 of which have to come into play tapped. Paradise Druid. I'm going to keep this. Yeah, we're basically playing here to try to ramp into Ugin to see if we can get the concession that way. Keep 7. Gonna lead off with Field of the Dead. Ooh, Duress. Okay, was not expecting that. Either goes Ugin or Nissa. They took the Nissa. Makes me think that they're going to have more discard in hand. Alright, lead off with Field of the Dead. I know I'm a 5-color deck, but so I probably shouldn't lead off with that, but I got 2 other green sources, and whenever I draw a land after my hand's been exposed, I try not to play them first if I can help it, so they don't know what those cards are. Alright, so Overgrown Tomb, pay the 2 life, play out a Paradise Druid. Next turn, I'm willing to actually play a Stomping Ground or a Breeding Pool instead of using the Paradise Druid. Oh boy, there goes our hand. I discard a card. Alright, so we're going to go discard the Ugin because he's too hard to cast at the moment. I think we're going to go on the plan of trying to get to an Eerie Ultimatum and bring everything back. I think that might be our best bet at the moment. He's got a 1 blocker that's going to kill that. I could mutate for 2 and go on Davri. Or I can go on the... Is the ramp plan any good anymore? Let's see, that puts me to 4 mana. Let me pay the 2 life. I could, if I mutate for 2, or I could play out this, get another land, and then still mutate, but then that makes it open to removal. I'm going to lose another card to... Alright, I'm going to go for the aggressive play here. I'm going to mutate. Take the over. And then we're going to go attack Davriel. Alright, the block. Next turn, if I have the discard, I think we'll discard the Stomping Ground. The catch here, try and get us 3 colors of lands. So I'd rather do that, and the Beanstalk Giant can help me find another color. Arcane Signet from the opponent. So he's probably the land in hand. He's enough to cast Liliana next turn. Grim Tutor. Let's let them search for anything, put it into their hand. I mean, I would like to think they're going to get another land to make sure they hit it so they can cast... Oh, Waker of the Dead. I'm so sorry. I thought Waker of the Dead is... I picked the wrong one. I would confuse Waker of the Dead for a Dreadhorde General. This one is a discard-based General. Oh, so all this stuff makes sense now. Alrighty. Oh, this gets to be interesting now. Okay, so this is what the play is going to be. I'm definitely worried about losing the Chandra. Chandra's definitely going to be a way we're going to fight our way out of this. So we're going to play out the Ketria Triumph. We're going to search for a land. At this point, we're going for... Do I have double red? I do not have double red. So let's get the mountain to get the double red. Okay. And then at this point, we're going to pass the turn. Resolve. If our opponent decides to use Davriel to get rid of our last card, we're going to use Parcel Beast to draw and not put the land into play if it is a land. And discard that. Resolve. Alright.
This battle is going to end on my terms.
We're going to look at the top card of our library. I'm going to decline, put that into my hand. Discard the land.
I have no interest in fighting fair.
And let's see if they're willing to give up Davriel. Davriel will be one of the ways a discard deck can deal damage to us obtusely. Alright. So, with Chandra, I think which would be good. Let's see. I could... Liliana's ability is a -7. It's -3 to kill. Swing for 2. I think we're gonna... I'm gonna go with trying to plus. I don't think killing either planeswalker does me any good, since the zombie arm will become a 3/3. So this will hopefully let me outpace them in terms of the damage they're dealing, especially since the Dreadhorde invasion is making them lose a life. I'm gonna make them lose, you know, I'm already up a turn in terms of having them lose life. And if I draw a land, I think they might be. Oh, they might be trying to kill the Parcel Beast. What was the -6? Okay, so they killed that. So I lose the Circuitous Route. I don't lose any life.
Care about your plans.
Did he gain life off of this? He did. Okay, Erebos Intervention.
That's it. Struggling.
Okay. Alright, so we're going to +2 Chandra. We're going to try to see if we can outrace him in terms of damage.
Or is it getting a little warm in here?
I don't have a white source to cast Kenrith, so that's probably a mistake on my part. Alright, so we're going to go with Teferi here. And essentially, we're going to...
I'm getting the hang of this.
And we're just going to basically draw and discard. Fill the graveyard up. Oh, there goes the Eerie Ultimatum that I was looking to try to cast. Alright. The plan here at the moment would probably be to phase out the token, so as I don't have to worry about that. Chandra might be used to finish off Liliana, or at least poke Liliana enough so as that she can't ultimate. Alright, that's -3. Basically trying to outrace the damage to my opponent.
Loneliness can hurt.
Alright. Let's plus with Teferi. We're gonna have to get rid of the Genesis Ultimatum. I just wanted to see what we would have gotten. Alright. Migration path. So we want to get a white so we can cast Kenrith. I got blue, I got black, I got red. I think I want to grab an extra red source just so I can give him, make sure he has haste. And then at this point, Liliana can go off. So let's -2. That'll put us down to 5. I did the math wrong. I should have done 1. Resolve. Okay, they're gonna start getting life again with that token if I don't deal with it anytime soon. Oh, Fires of Invention would be really sweet right about now. I mean, at this point, he might actually want to consider swinging at me, actually, because I'm getting low enough between his 2 planeswalkers. If he swung at me for 5 and I don't draw off Jarble, that would put me down to down to 4, down to 2. I think he probably should have been attacking me.
Well, I'm fresh out of fuel.
Alright, let's go to my turn.
Ugh, what a whiner.
Murderous Rider. Okay. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Another land would be nice. Alright, what's my best bet? Let's draw and see what we get. I think Murderous Rider is still a good option right now. Can I even cast the Casualties of War? I have black. Can't even cast the Casualties of War. It would have been a good card. I can't even cast Murderous Rider. So, let's see. They're going to gain life off of the zombie. No matter what. Kenrith might be what I need. I get 2 left over. Don't gain the life. I need another land for gaining the life. I'll have a 7/7 Beanstalk. 5 at 6. Alright, I'm going to go with Kenrith here. He might have a removal spell in his hand. Let's give Kenrith haste. And let's see if he has the removal spell. Have to deal with Davriel. That's the thing. Oh, there's a Disfigure. Okay. Alright, so I'm still good. Alright, so Davriel's dead, so we don't have to worry about the 2 damage there. Opponent loses 1 life. Resolves. Resolves. I have 1 white source. Meaning that I get to gain 5 life once. Alright, with that on the stack, I think this might actually hand that to the graveyard. Let's phase out the 6/6 so they can't gain any life. Alright, so yeah, that fizzled on the spell. It's another card for their graveyard. That's fine. Kenrith's dead. Take the action, move into the command zone. A Selesnya Guildgate. Tell me that gives me a 2/2 blocker. It gives me a 2/2 blocker. Alright. Kenrith now costs 7. Which means I have enough, just enough to cast him, I believe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have enough just to cast him. I think I'm going to go with the Beanstalk Giant to get a little bit beef to trade up with the 6/6 or the 7/7 Lifelinker. This way then if next turn I want, I could play out Kenrith and give it haste to swing in as well. I guess they're on sightings they're going to draw a card off of that? Alright, so Beanstalk Giant, here we go. You have an 8/8. They'll gain the 7 life, but I can kind of negate that a little bit. How many cards are in this graveyard? 9. He could definitely use -3 to kill the Beanstalk Giant with Liliana and recast her, forcing me to discard the Murderous Rider. I think that's what they might be doing. At least that's what I would think would be a good play. Or, oh wait, they have lethal on board. So they'll minus kill Beanstalk, recast Liliana, kill the 2/2 token, and swing in for 7 exactly.
Embrace you.
Let's see if he sees it. Waited on bated breath with anticipation. Okay, Phyrexia's Libation does the same trick. Alright, gains lifelink. Good game. Got a little slow on that. I just didn't want to see. I wanted to see if they had it. They saw it. Okay, that was fun. Hello and welcome to game number 4. I'm playing against Frubeling, piloting a Nicol Bolas Dragon God deck. So this is a Grixis 3-color deck with the Planeswalker Nicol Bolas. I have no interactions with Nicol Bolas on this and no ramp. Even though I have 3 lands, I'm going to take the free mulligan. With a Bedevil and a Chromatic Lantern, I'm going to keep this hand. Alright, they're going first. They have a Leyline of Anticipation. Say hello to our opponents. Lead off with the Zagoth Triome. Enters tap. Alright. Next turn's a do nothing turn. We draw a land. We draw a land. Okay. Depending on how many lands we have in by turn 3 will probably dictate whether I decide to go for Dryad of the Elysian Grove. Excuse me. Or the Chromatic Lantern. Because Dryad will let me play a second land at least, so we get more lands in play. Pass. My turn. Alright, looks like it's going to be Grove. Let's play out the green source? Doesn't really matter with the Grove and the Lantern. I can be able to cast Inspired Ultimatum on time. So let's get out Dryad. Play Mountain. Alright, we got double black and a red. Alright, cool. Looks like our opponent, if they have the land, they have the lands. They have the mana now. Black, black, black. They chose not. They're going to if they're gonna flash in Nicol Bolas, I'm always a little leery about flashing that stuff in, especially with instant speed removal. You don't get a use of the effect. So let's play Field of Ruin. I want to be able to keep 3 mana up ultimately. Let me attack. Just to get the free hit in. Alright. I'm going to go with... No, we're going to do Field of Ruin. And a Forest for Arcane Signet. Just on the off chance, if they do flash him in, I can just bedevil and they waste the turn. They are. Okay, so the spell resolves. And this is why, so because he flashed him in and you can only activate Planeswalker abilities on your turn, he was trying to save himself some mana, and there we go. So that's a lesson as to why, as cool as it seems to flash Planeswalkers in, flashing them in on your opponent's turns, you cannot activate their abilities. The only exception currently would be the new Teferi from M21, since you can use his abilities on your opponent's turns at instant speed. So he's the only one that is worth flashing in and being able to use right away to gain value. Hello and welcome to game number 5. We're playing against Teriyaki Fish Gang piloting a Yarok the Desecrated deck, which is a Sultai commander, green, blue, black, that doubles end of the battlefield effects. I feel like he's making a subtle One Piece reference with Teriyaki Fish Gang. Alright, I'm going first. We got a bunch of lands, a Kaya's Wrath, and a Doom Inevitable. Can we cast the Kaya's Wrath? I got black. I actually can't cast it. But I like it, I have all this mana and the possibility. And I have a Godzilla this side. I'll take the free mulligan. Incubation Druid. Alright, this is a little bit riskier. Mulligan this too. Alright, this one I'll give a try on. Keep 6. Let's put away the Ruinous Ultimatum, because that's going to be a lot harder for us to cast. We have a Shadow of the Sky we can work towards. Another Leyline of Anticipation. That's 3 this game. Or this time around. Alright, enters tapped. Lead off the Temple Garden. Falling Watch from the opponent's green. Green. Alright. Let's play the Mountain. Pass the turn. I'm going to cycle Godzilla at the end of my opponent's turn. What do we got here? World Championship sleeves? Alright, played an Isle. Pass. Let's cycle Godzilla. Play on Dreadboard. Okay, we got 4. Alright, let's play the blue out. Pass the turn. So now we have the option of going for double white for Shatter or double blue for Teferi Master of Time. Shatter doesn't seem like the one to go for per se, because they're not really playing a lot to the field at the moment. We're just trying to build up their board. Whereas Teferi, we can at least start drawing towards things, and they're tapped out. Okay, so alright, we're gonna go for the double blue. Play the Teferi, and we're gonna see if we can find some way to get the mana to go off on an Eerie Ultimatum. I think that's that's not necessarily the cool play, but I think that's the strategy we're gonna go for right now. They're not putting a lot of pressure on us, so this is the free time to do this. Worst case, we'll discard a Kaya's Wrath. Let's discard the Kaya's Wrath right now. They're not really committing a lot to the board. 5. They might be playing a Yorick out now, which is fine. There's Yorick. Alright, cool. We'll draw and discard the end of their turn. Pass. Let's draw, see what we draw. Unpredictable Cyclone. That is something to cast, but I can't do anything with casting it. I can't cast the Liliana at all. So let's just discard the Liliana. We have an Ugin. Alright. So let's draw and discard. We have the land. I still don't have double white. But it's a possibility. Let's get rid of the Ugin. I'm gonna take my chance. They don't have not Grave Upheaval. The black spell that pays life to gain permanent lands and creatures and planeswalkers into play. 5. Let's go for the mountain. Let's go for an Unpredictable Cyclone. Get that going. I probably should have cycled it, but if I draw into Boon of the Wishgiver, I will be able to... Actually, that's a good point here. Do I draw here? Past the blockers. Actually, I think... Let's see if we... Let's phase out Yard, because what they have to do now, they want the bonus effects of NTBs, they'd have to have done flashed it in. So, if they had flashed that in, they would have been able to scry 4 and draw 2 cards. Alright, and they would have had 2 more scries. So, well, yeah, if they did that first. Zuza lost with Seeking. Alrighty. Alright, that's a good question now. I think... Alright, so Lilia makes me fix my mana really well. I would like to wipe... Oh, if I wipe the board, I'm going to miss the Yarick. Alright, so let's draw and discard, see what we get. Incubation Druid. I think Shadow of the Sky is still good to hold on to. I don't have enough green to cast... Oh, I do. I could play... I'm going to get rid of the Incubation Druid. Gonna play out the Breeding Pool. Have that enter play tapped. And cast the Dryad. Dryad fixes my mana. I can still plus with the Fairy. Gray Merchant, that's fine. I lose X twice. Where's the other black? 1. Oh, he's 2, that's why. Okay, so I lose 6 life. That actually is kind of nice. Alright, so let's see what's going there. Alright, I think we're just going to draw with the Fairy. See what we get. I get the land. I like Shadow of the Sky here. As well as the Eerie Ultimatum. I don't have the extra white. I'll discard the land. No blocks.
This used to be easier.
Alright, I'm short of land. Alright, so we gotta draw and get to the land. We got the swamp. Let's get rid of the Devil or Shatter. Probably Shatter, because I'm gonna be able to get Ugin now. So let's cast Eerie Ultimatum. Okay, the 2 life.
My army will envelop.
And there we go. Eerie Ultimatum for the win.
What little you find.
Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed the gameplay footage. Now I'm going to go a little bit more into the card choices that I made for the deck. This is the after-game deck tech and evaluation to see what maybe also what worked, what didn't work. Starting off with the Commander, Kenrith the Returned King. Even though he only has white in his mana cost, because his abilities use different colors of mana, he is technically, according to the rules of Commander and of Brawl, a 5-color Commander. Out of the choices that were available to me, he's the most versatile. He'll also survive rotation. So that is the primary reason why I picked him. The focus of the deck are trying to win casting the ultimatums. So that was because I want to cast. They're all different. They're all 5 colors of mana. I need a 5-cost general. Most of the deck is based around the ramp, which puts us into a basis or a base green deck. out of the 5, we try to prioritize having more green than anything else, which is why when it came to choosing my mana base, I tried to pick dual lands that had green in them. Yeah, pretty standard stuff. I feel like Incubation Druid lets us play mana of any color as long as we have a land. So it's more than just green, which is good. Paradise Druid, it's great. Our Arcane Signet must include for most decks. Cultivate helps us with fixing and ramp. Dryad, if we have a land in hand, acts as ramp. Otherwise, it helps fix our mana. I didn't have her in originally, and I realized with the, or maybe it's a him. It's hard to, I can't. Maybe let's say him. When I think nymph, I always think a girl. Nevertheless, the second part of text, lands you control every basic land type in addition to their other types, basically means that as long as we have the Dryad in the battlefield, we can have a disparate number of different lands in the play that are off color from the spells in our hand and still be able to cast them. Risen Wreath, I just felt it was a simple ramp spell that if the land's on top, great. I don't think I have as many elementals to really trigger it in the deck. Elementals? I have 2 other elementals, which is probably one of the reasons that I think Thrix brought the nod of being in the deck. Missing where the other elemental is. Nevertheless, I figured that would definitely be a good thing to have. Oh, the Parcel Beast. There we go. That's the other one. Chromatic Lantern. Rams fixes mana, same as the Dryad of the Elysian Grove. Fires of Invention. It's banned in basically every format. What's great, again, it lets, as long as we have the number of lands equal to the converted mana cost of the spell in play, it's for free. So being able to cast 2 ultimatums in one turn is insane. Also, this frees up our lands to then be used for our ability of Kenrith. As you might have saw in the one game where I had both Fires and Unpredictable Cyclone out. That game, I was able to kind of come back from everything. That was against the Trout of the Silencer deck. I was able to come back from everything my opponent was doing because I wasn't spending my mana to cast my spells. I was using Fires of Invention for that and activating Kenrith's various abilities using my lands as a result of not having spent that mana to cast spells. Circuitous Route and Migration Path are essentially the same thing. Look for 2 basic lands, put them into play. Migration Path is in here mostly for the basic lands, but occasionally to draw a card later on. It also is the sorcery that I can cycle to Unpredictable Cyclone to maybe get for 2 mana, cycle into Unpredictable Cyclone into an Ultimatum, which was one of the ideas I'm borrowing from Saffron Olive and from MTG Goldfish from his deck from Standard, where he was trying to find ways to cast multiple ultimatums, all 5 of them in a Standard deck, using the combination of Unpredictable Cyclone with cycling sorceries to hit into the ultimatums. And then Circuitous Route, I'm going on the gate plan. Might as well find the gate's already coming to play tap, so the backdraw of lands coming to play tap doesn't really affect it as much. So that's why those are in the deck. Parcel Beast, again, I was trying to look into what are some ways for me to cheat lands faster into the deck since I'm going to be really greedy with the mana. And I thought Parcel Beast would be a good addition for that reason. Solemn Simulacrum, it's colorless, so no matter what our lands are, we'll be able to cast him. It helps us find our mana fixing. Same thing with Beanstalk Giant. It helps mana fix by searching for lands. And then this also doubles as, it's something I can cast early for the Fertile Footsteps or late as a Beanstalk Giant and having an XX, where X is the number of lands I control, big beater later on in the game. Moving on to some targeted removal, Murderous Rider. Again, this is one of the, it doubles up, it does double duty. It destroys target creature or planeswalker with Swift End, and is a 2/3 lifelinking body on its own as well. So that's mostly deal with our target removal. Bedevil, there are several other probably easier to cast removal spells. I think the versatility of Bedevil for targeting artifacts in addition to creatures or planeswalkers is worth it. I know double black and a red is really hard to cast, but I tend to, when I play multicolored decks, I like to look into the gold cards since those gold cards go into fewer decks. So I want to see, I felt that this would probably be a good one to try to make it work. Casualties of War, again, it can be a little more mana intensive with double black, double green. but since we are base green, it's not as hard, and it lets us kind of pick and choose what to blow up on our opponent's side. It's one of our few enchantment removal effects. Now here are our board wipes. We have Shatter the Sky. Just general blows up everything. Same thing with Kaya's Wrath. Destroy all the creatures. If we have any on our side of the field, we'll gain life equal to the number of creatures of our own that we destroy. And then Extinction Event is pretty easy to cast, being only 1 black. And lets us kind of pick and choose. Maybe our opponent has all even tokens out in the battlefield, just even creatures. And we have our hard-hitting Godzillas, which are both odd-numbered spells. So this way we can do a one-sided board wipe potentially. This next section is kind of things that fall into the category. Probably Beanstalk Giant would also fall into this category as well as things that I can use early or late. Shark Typhoon I can cast as early as 2 just to draw a card, or for 3 to get a 1/1 token in play. Or preferably, I get this out into play and with the Shark Typhoon out and cast an Ultimatum to not only get the effect but also get a 7/7 creature into play. Boon of the Wishgiver, again, either early on I could cycle it for 1 generic and draw a card to replace it, or later if I draw it on later in the game, I can draw 4 cards to refill my hand after deploying a lot of the resources. And then Yidaro Wandering Monster and Titanotherex. Again, I like the Godzilla artwork. These are just general, if I have them early in hand, it's a quick card draw for me. Later on in the game, they're big beaters to help close out the game. Especially if I'm able to get out Godzilla with Kenrith and I somehow can give it haste from Kenrith's ability. That's always good. And then, I already went over Beanstalk Giant. This next pile is the cards, essentially, that I want to search for with Inspired Ultimatum, with Emergent Ultimatum, or be able to cast for free off of Genesis Ultimatum. Teferi, Master of Time. I have him. I haven't really had a good deck for him to play in. I thought this would be one thing that at least I could try out with. He's definitely a choice that I don't think my opponent would necessarily want to pick with Emergent Ultimatum. And I think the drawing discard at least helps us find what we're looking for. And with also having Eerie Ultimatum in our hand, in the deck, whatever we discard, if it's a non-permanent, if we discard permanent cards, we'll be able to get it back with the Eerie Ultimatum. So that is, like we did in our last game, we're able to make that the game plan, use Teferi to fill up the graveyard to get everything back with Eerie Ultimatum. Thrix Sudden Storm, I like that he's a flash-flying creature, 4/5 beater, and that he also makes our ultimatums uncounterable. That's the primary purpose of it. He doesn't give a cost reduction, but he makes them uncounterable. So this way, then, we don't have to. It's one of the things we have to worry about. We don't have to wait to hold up counter magic. If Thrix is in play, we can cast our spells with impunity because our opponents need to first get rid of Thrix before they can counter anything. Unpredictable Cyclone. This also could be one of those cards that if I have it early, I can just cycle it away for 2 generic and then use it later. But it's one of the ways I'm trying to cheat getting ultimatums out by cycling either Boon of the Wishgivers or Migration Path. Hopefully then the next card that instead of drawing it, I would cycle till I would keep exiling cards till I get a card that matches the card type of the thing I cycled. So hopefully I'm going to get one of the ultimatums. I think I have a few sorceries in here. I have 13 sorceries. So that's 5 out of 13. So make it 5 out of 12 if we consider the fact that I'm cycling one of them. So it's a little worse than 50-50, but I feel like if I'm able to pull it off, that's sweet. I did have a practice game where I was able to do that. I cycled Boon of the Wishgiver into Ruinous Ultimatum, was able to wipe my opponent's board and stabilize at that point. So it is a way to work. It's not a high percentage way, but it's fun. Nissa, Who Shakes the World. This card can win games over time by itself. It doubles up our green mana, which we have a lot of green sources. I know I only have, I think I have 3 forests in the deck, but still being able to double up if I do have the green in play. Creating creatures. But the mere fact that she untaps the land and we are getting extra mana that way, even if we are unable to use her forest ability. And she just is be able to flood the board with 3/3 creatures that can ultimately end the game as well. And again, another choice that either I would love to flip into off. Oh man. Flip off of Genesis Ultimatum or give as a choice for Emergent Ultimatum. Liliana Dreadhorde General, just a versatile thing, you know, giving us card draw, creating creatures into play, making our opponent sacrifice some creatures, very controlling option. Again, I guess worthily getting off searching for Emergent or casting off a Genesis. Chandra, same deal, deals with the board, puts a clock on our opponent, can deal with planeswalkers. Ugin just wipes the whole field. He seems to be one of the big bad boogeyman of the format that if your opponent or if whoever gets to cast Ugin and basically exile everything the other person has done, it's really hard to come back from that. This one I really can't search off of Emergent, but since I'm already trying to get to 7 mana anyways and the deck was built towards that, and I'm just trying to play game-ending cards, Ugin doesn't come as one of the ones that it's not that far to come. Sorry. I totally messed up that expression. But essentially, Ugin is a game ender. So if we're already going up to 7, it's not that much harder, I feel like, to go to 1 more to get to 8. Especially considering that 2 of them, between Inspired that lets us draw 5 cards and Genesis Reveal in the top 5, we'll hopefully be able to find a way to get to Ugin at that point. And then again, Ruinous, I went with the Ultimatums. Ruinous, destroy everything our opponent has. A complete one-sided board wipe. Doesn't matter what our opponent has. Creatures, artifacts, enchantments, planeswalkers, all of it says goodbye. And if we have our big beaters in play, we can just take over from there and beat down on the opponent. Genesis Ultimatum, being able just to put 5 things into play, it will ramp us lands. It will get around our large casting cost of our permanents. We will miss on our casting our other ultimates for free, but they'll go into our hand for next round. Since we already have 7 mana to cast Genesis Ultimatum, we should have 7 mana to cast any of our other ultimatums. Eerie Ultimatum, as you saw in the last game, was able to just bring everything back. It's definitely something that if our opponent's able to deal with our permanents somehow, we'll just bring everything back and have them try to do it one more time. Inspired Ultimatum, maybe deal with a problem permanent, go to their face, gain us some life to keep us in the game, draw some more cards to try to hopefully maybe get more ultimatums to try to take over the game and overwhelm our opponent with our power. And then Emergent Ultimatum, one of the Genesis ideas for this deck of just ultimatums are fun. Let's try to play as many as we can in one deck. And I, again, always enjoy that mini game of what is the best thing to search for in this situation and what do I pair it up with to make my opponent kind of give me what I want, or at least give them no good options. Mana base, I definitely am riding hard on the Guildgate strategy that I talk about all the time with Plaza of Harmony, making us a second command tower. In this deck, command tower is a 5 colored card, so it's amazing. The closest we can get that with Plaza, the better. But even if we only get 3 colors out of Plaza, that will definitely fix a lot of our mana problems. I probably am being greedy for running Field of Ruin and Field of the Dead, but we're already running numerous different named lands. Field of the Dead to me just seems like a no-brainer to include. Field of Ruin, I haven't seen a lot of Field of the Dead from our opponents for the most part, but it can definitely deal with ability lands that our opponent may have, as well as technically can fix our mana. If we destroy one of theirs, we can search for a basic land that we might be needing a color of. Just for picking lands, I went for, again, anything that was a green base is what I went with for the most part. That's why I only picked, and I'm only running 2 of the 3 drops with Ketria. I figured Ketria and Zagoth. I know of a lot of overlap, but I don't have as much white in the deck. I maybe should consider dropping the Ketria. No, I stuck with. Never mind that. I could have considered playing the green, white, black tri-land, but I omitted it because I don't have as much white in the deck, and I felt with Ketria, with my early drops being green, blue potentially for Partial Beast, Risen Reef, and so on, Bedeviled, I felt that it was more important to have that a 2 of at least green, blue. So that's where that one got the nod. And then, it doesn't show here, but 2 forests, 2 mountains, 2 swamps, 2 islands. I would like to get a second plane. It would be nice to search out with the Fabled Passage. But I felt like I couldn't really cut any of the other lands. I think we're running 24 lands in the deck. We're running 24 lands in the deck, so. And that's it for the deck tech. I'm open to ideas. I hope this inspired you guys. That I'm trying to do with some of the deck building things to show that you don't necessarily have to build. There is always the obvious way, which is never obvious. Isn't necessarily wrong. There's obvious ways to build commanders. I feel like Kenrith easily is very versatile as a commander. You can just build to play a control deck and have him be the win con. He allows you to build decks like this that are multicolored with different themes around them. So I wanted to kind of showcase this deck to show that around even the wacky theme of playing all the ultimates, you are able to build it. You can build around other themes and ideas that are just beyond what the commander says on its text box. So that's it for the gameplay and the deck tech and the video for today. If you liked today's video, please click the thumbs up icon down below. If you want to get notified of when I release a new video, please subscribe and hit the bell icon. You're more than welcome to leave a comment below on how I could have played better, other ways I could build the deck, or what other things might be better options to go for, maybe Emergent Ultimatum or Genesis Ultimatum. Any ways I could have played the game better. I'm also just starting out on the channel, so any comments, any feedback on what I can do to make the videos either more entertaining to watch, what other content you'd want to see, deck ideas you might have, you want me to try to build and play out. I'm always open to all of that. As always, thanks for watching. It's greatly appreciated you taking the time to watch my videos. Thanks for visiting the Batcave, and have a great day.